We're testing Governor Walker's claims that homeowners all across the state are paying less on their property taxes.
If your property taxes went down this tax year, Governor Walker would like to take credit for that, but should he? Good evening, I'm Eric Franke.
And I'm Sarah Carlson. Thanks for joining us. The governor says property taxes dropped slightly this year statewide, but News 3's Theo Keith is getting the real story behind the numbers.
Well, Sarah and Eric, yeah, it is true that property taxes did not increase as much as they have in recent years. That's a good thing, but the impact of how it happened is up for debate.
1, 2, 3.
The governor touts the new ground he broke in last year's budget as the reason property taxes fell for the first time in 12 years.
This is good news for people out across the state. Property taxes are going down just as we predicted, but it's good to see it in the actual numbers, not just in estimates.
The governor says property taxes fell by 0.4%, but one watchdog group says when you factor everything in, they actually rose by 0.2%. In the end, it's a difference of about $20 on an average home.
I think that the most honest way to say it is that net property taxes were more or less flat this year.
So why were property taxes virtually flat? The governor says his policies allowed school districts to save money by limiting workers' bargaining rights on benefits like health care, and he says that's saving homeowners.
Schools are doing better because our reforms are working. It's saving money. It's keeping property taxes down. It's doing the things we said would happen.
Barry says the real cause is a cap placed on the amount of revenue schools could take in. That held down property taxes, but it sent schools scrambling to make cuts to their budgets.
School people would tell you that it's been a little painful. The governor would argue, yes, we cut your aids, but we also gave you some flexibility in terms of cost savings, and that's true.
He's referencing the cost savings to the collective bargaining changes, of course, which have the governor in a recall. Back to the issue of cost, though, Barry says his calculations add in more types of property, so they're more accurate.
So people watching might be saying, what about my property taxes that went up this year?
Right, yeah, we just have to remember this is all just a statewide average. Whether you pay more or less can depend on what municipality you live in, right down to the neighborhood you live in, because assessed property value, which is what the tax is based on, well, that is always changing.
All right, Theo, thanks a lot.
Yeah, you bet.